All right, we're going to move now to Operation Epic Fury.
Pakistan says it will host talks between the United States and Iran as thousands of U.S. troops arrive in the Middle East.
Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst is live in Tel Aviv with the very latest. Trey, good morning.
Hey guys, good morning. Operation Epic Fury has now entered week 5, and the United States is continuing to hammer the Iranian regime. President Trump taking to Truth Social overnight, saying, quote, "Big day in Iran. Many long sought-after targets have been taken out and destroyed by our great military, the finest and most lethal in the world. God bless you all." The president's comments come after a series of U.S. and Israeli strikes over the weekend that targeted Iran's steel manufacturing sites and nuclear development facilities. Reports indicate the president is considering a limited ground operation inside of Iran following the arrival of the USS Tripoli manned with 3,500 troops, including 2,500 Marines, to the CENTCOM area of operation. The president was asked about the status of military plans yesterday, saying this.
We've had very good negotiations today with Iran, getting a lot of the things that they should have given us a long time ago. We'll see how it works out, but they're very good. Moving along very nicely.
Are you considering still putting boots on the ground, and would you do that without going to Congress?
I just have lots of alternatives. We have tremendous numbers of ships over there. We don't need them all because of, the power. We're ahead of schedule with Iran.
As the war grinds on, Iran is continuing its ballistic missile attacks against Israel, focusing attacks on southern Israel in recent days. A chemical plant outside of Beersheba was hit with a missile fragment yesterday, causing toxic black smoke to spew from the facility. The area around the plant was evacuated. With these strikes ongoing, a spokesperson for Iran's IRGC talked over the weekend about the war and President Trump.
Trump threatens an issue one morning and retreats that same evening. He talks about negotiations for a while and decides to continue the war hours later.
As this is all taking place, we know that the Israelis are continuing their airstrikes against the Iranian regime, but you hear from IRGC officials they don't realize that President Trump wants them to be confused about the military plans as this war continues. Guys?
So, Trey, the Internet's been shut down for months now, and not allowing the Iranians to be able to communicate virtually at all. Any change to that?
No, and Israeli officials are sounding the alarm about the internet blackout across Iran that has now reached more than 700 hours. They say it's affecting the world's ability to understand the extent and impact of U.S. and Israeli strikes, and it's also hurting Iranian civilians and their ability to organize internally. I spoke with a senior Israeli intelligence official today about this issue, who said in part, quote, "This is a blackout on truth. The regime is hiding reality from its own people. They don't want the Iranian people to see how badly they're getting hit." The official goes on to say, cutting the internet stops people from communicating, from sharing what's really happening, and from organizing. This is significant because we understand that Starlink is being jammed inside of Iran, and so people who previously were able to work around this internet blackout are not able to do so. The Iranian regime has also arrested hundreds of people who are using Starlink terminals, but the official ended by saying something that I think is very important. They said, when this blackout is lifted, the full extent of the damage to the regime will become clear. Guys?
Yeah, that'll be great. Thanks so much, Trey.
Thanks, Trey.
We really only get information from our perspective. I mean, you look at all the Arab newspapers, even the Gulf states don't seem to have an accurate understanding about what's going on inside Iran.
Well, they have what they call their intranet within Iran, where they have the internet, but it's only controlled with what the Iranians want their people to see. And the question is, are the people getting an accurate view of what's going on in the war today? Meanwhile, the president is debating if he's going to do ground troops or not. He wants all options on the table.
Yeah, he definitely says he wants all options on the table. I think polling shows the American people don't really want boots on the ground, but in order to negotiate, he's got to say, I can do anything I want.
That's right. You can't
to make this happen. Yeah. But my guess is, and knowing Pete Hegseth the way we all know Pete Hegseth, when he's been on this couch many times talking about how we don't want forever wars, and I think at some point we just have to trust that this is going to be as limited as possible. And I think the challenge is going to be, because we're working with a partner, making sure that partner understands that we're in charge.
It's so great to have a partner that is lethal as opposed to one that's so limited like a European partner. The UK has no ships. France has no army.
Embarrassing.
You have a lethal military and a motivated military with the IDF. There's two things that have to happen. The Strait's got to open, and we got to get the uranium. The president knows both those things. So General McKenzie was right on the money yesterday saying you don't have to take Cargo Island. You block Cargo Island. So you stop 90% of their revenue from coming through. That'll get their attention. And can we get in with heavy equipment and get the 460 pounds of uranium out? That's something the president's looking at. I think we should keep our eye on that.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.